Hello and welcome to day 6 of our problem solving unit. Today we're going to look at solving word problems that develop into a quadratic equation. The important step in solving these equations is using the zero product rule. Here's the concept. If I have m times n equals 0, then I know that either m or n or both are equal to 0. I can solve it by saying m equals 0 or n equals 0, and then testing to see if both or either are true. Let's see how these develop. Let's jump in with example 1. Sum of two numbers is 18. The sum of the squares of the numbers is 194. Find the two numbers. Let's start with the definitions. We have two numbers. So we can say n equals a number and m equals another number. There's our two numbers. Now we'll have two relationships. The sum of two numbers is 18, so we have n plus m is 18, and then we have the sum of the squares of the numbers is 194. So we would have n squared plus m squared is equals 194. Now, like our coin problems, we have to solve the first equation for m or n. Something like this. N equals 18 minus m. And now, if n equals 18 minus m, we can substitute that in to the other equation instead of n. And we would get something that looked like this. 18 minus m squared plus m squared equals 194. So we have an equation in one variable. Let's collect up like terms. Remember, if we're going to square 18 minus m, we have to distribute like this. 18 minus m times 18 minus m. And that would give us 324 minus 36m plus m squared equals 194. Now we have to make our equation equal to 0 so that we can use the zero product rule. We would collect up like terms, write it in this form. 2m squared minus 36m plus 324 equals 194. Now we would subtract 194 from both sides, and we would get 2m squared minus 36m plus 130 equals 0. Now you should recognize this from our factoring unit, and we factor this down. Let's take a 2 out to start with, 2 out of everything, and we get 2 times m squared minus 18m plus 65 equals 0. Now we can factor that trinomial. Remember, it's two numbers that multiply to 65 and add to negative 18. You can pause the video if you want, but if you do a little bit of thinking, you'll come up with 5 and 13. And so we get 2 times m minus 13 times m minus 5 equals 0. Here's where we use the zero product rule. We'll set m minus 13 equal to 0, and we'll set m minus 5 equal to 0. And you can see we'll get m equal to 13 and m equal to 5. And now we can check. If the two numbers are 13 and 5, and we said their sum was 18, then this is correct. And the sum of their squares is 194. Let's check that. That would be 13 squared plus 5 squared equals 194. And that would be 169 plus 25 would equal 194. And that is correct. And so we finish with a sentence answer. The two numbers are 13 and 5. You'll notice I had two answers for m. M equals 13 and m equals 5. You could put either one in. You could put 13 in for m, and that would make n 5. Or put 5 in for m, and that would make n 13. Either way, they work. For example 2, because we're running on a little bit of time here, I'll just get you guys to read it and pause it and try to do it yourself, and then I will complete it without a full explanation so that you can compare your answer. We do a little substitution here. Alright, there's my solution. You can pause the video and have a look at it, compare it to your solution. I solved for n equals -9 or n equals 7. Remember that the first equation was m minus n equals 2. And so if n was -9, m would have to be -7. And so we would have a pair of numbers, -7 and -9. And if n was 7, m would have to be 9. And so we'd have a pair of numbers 9 and 7. And you can see if we put either of these pairs into the equation, m squared plus n squared equals 130. Because they're being squared, the negatives won't have any effect. And so we would have 7 squared plus 9 squared equals 130. We would have 49 plus 81 equals 130. Everything works out. And so we can use the sentence answer. The numbers are either -7 and -9 or 7 and 9. All right, you guys try the worksheet.